I get it. You're staring at that sleek red light mat on the page, wondering if it's just another flashy wellness gadget or actually something that could ease those nagging muscle aches you've been living with after a long week. Maybe you've tried a cheap handheld device that barely covered a single spot, or you've heard friends rave about phototherapy but felt a little skeptical because the price tag seemed high. If you're on the fence, the best thing I can do is walk you through what using this kind of mat looks like day to day, so you don't end up spending money on something that won't fit into your routine. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the space it takes up and how you actually set it up. The Couch Store mat measures about 72 by 33 inches, so it's essentially the size of a yoga mat plus a little extra. That means you can roll it out on a carpet, a firm floor, or even a sturdy mattress if you're in a bedroom that doubles as a home gym. The whole thing is a single piece of flexible TPU, so you don't have to fuss with assembling panels or plugging a bunch of separate lights together. In practice, I found it took me less than 2 minutes to unroll, plug it into a standard outlet, and press the simple power button. The mat then lights up with a soft, even glow that covers the entire surface. No dark corners, no need to shuffle around to hit different body parts. For people who are already juggling work, family, and a workout schedule, that plug-and-play convenience is a real time saver. Now, what does the light actually do for you? The mat packs 2,600 LEDs that emit two wavelengths, 660 nanometers red light, which is generally associated with surface-level circulation and skin health, and 850 nanometers near-infrared, which penetrates a bit deeper to target muscle fibers and joint tissues. In real-world terms, that combination is meant to help temporarily reduce stiffness after a heavy leg day, soothe a sore lower back from sitting at a desk, or give a post-run recovery boost. I tried it after a 10-kilometer run, laying the mat under my calves and thighs for about 15 minutes while I watched a show. The heat wasn't uncomfortable, but the light was gentle enough that I could relax without feeling like I was in a sauna. By the end of the session, I noticed a subtle reduction in that tight, work it too hard feeling, and a couple of hours later the soreness was noticeably less than the usual post-run drag. That's the sort of practical benefit you can actually feel, not just a vague claim about better recovery. Who should consider adding this mat to their routine? If you're an athlete, a regular gym goer, or anyone who spends long periods on their feet, think nurses, teachers, or retail workers, the extra coverage can be a game changer. The full body size means you don't have to buy separate devices for your back, shoulders, and legs. One session can address multiple trouble spots. It also works well for people managing chronic low-grade muscle tension, such as those dealing with mild arthritis or recurring neck stiffness from computer work. On the flip side, if you're looking for a targeted, high-intensity treatment for a specific injury, say, a recent rotator cuff tear that needs focused therapy, a smaller, clinically calibrated device might serve you better. Also, if your budget is tight and you're only interested in occasional use, you might find the upfront cost harder to justify compared to a portable handheld unit, even though the mat offers broader coverage. The practical strengths of the Couch Store mat are fairly straightforward. Because the LEDs are densely packed, you get consistent exposure across a large surface area, which eliminates the hot spot problem you sometimes see with cheaper panels where only a small patch is actually lit. The flexible TPU material also means the mat can be rolled up and stored out of the way, so you're not stuck with a permanent fixture in a small apartment. Another plus is the low noise operation. Once it's on, the only sound is the faint hum of the electronics, which is hardly noticeable if you're listening to music or a podcast during the session. On the downside, the mat does require a continuous power source, so you can't use it while traveling unless you have a compatible outlet. The heat it generates, while mild, can be a bit uncomfortable for people who are very heat sensitive. In that case, you might need to keep the session shorter or place a thin towel between the mat and your skin. Finally, the control interface is minimal, just a power button and a timer, which is great for simplicity, but means you can't fine-tune the intensity or switch between wavelengths on the fly. If you're the type who likes to customize every parameter, that lack of granularity could feel limiting. Wrapping up, the Red Light Therapy Mat from Couch Store offers a solid blend of coverage, ease of use, and real-world relief for anyone who regularly deals with muscle soreness or